Snowman, the $80 plow horse who became a show-jumping legend. In 1956, on a quiet farm in Pennsylvania, a Dutch immigrant horse trainer named Harry de Leyer arrived late to a horse auction. By the time he got there, the best horses had already been sold. What remained were the leftovers, animals deemed unfit for work or purpose, all waiting to be loaded onto a truck bound for the slaughterhouse. Among them stood a dirty, skinny gray horse with sad eyes and a defeated posture. He was covered in mud, his ribs visible beneath his coat, and he carried an air of exhaustion. He was just another discarded workhorse, no different from the others, destined to be turned into dog food or glue. But something about him caught Harry's attention. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it was fate. On a whim, Harry bought the horse for $80. The transaction was so insignificant that it barely registered. Nobody cared. This was a worn-out plow horse, good for nothing. No one could have predicted that this moment, this last-minute decision, would change history. Harry loaded the gray horse onto his truck and took him home to his Long Island farm. He was in desperate need of a school horse for the riding lessons he taught to local children. The horse, now given a second chance at life, needed a name. The de Leyer children called him Snowman because of his pale gray coat. The name stuck. At first, Snowman was exactly what he appeared to be, an ordinary, obedient, slow-moving animal. He was gentle, kind, and easy to handle, making him perfect for beginners. But beyond that, he seemed unremarkable. Harry had no reason to believe there was anything extraordinary about him. Then, something strange happened. A few months later, Harry decided to sell Snowman to a neighbor, believing he had found the horse a good home. But days after the sale, Snowman showed up back at Harry's farm, having jumped over the neighbor's high fence to return. Confused but intrigued, Harry brought him back. Again, the new owner took him home, and again Snowman escaped, jumping over any obstacle in his way to return to Harry. It was becoming clear that Snowman had a mind of his own. That's when Harry decided to test him. He set up a jumping course in his training ring and guided Snowman toward the first hurdle. The horse took off effortlessly, soaring over it as if it was nothing. Harry raised the bar higher, and Snowman cleared it again, and again, and again. The plow horse had wings. Harry realized he had something special, but the horse world wouldn't believe it. Snowman was an ex-plow horse, a rescue from the slaughterhouse. He had no papers, no pedigree, no bloodline that suggested he could be anything more than what he was. But Harry had seen what the world hadn't, and he was ready to prove them wrong. In 1958, Harry entered Snowman in his first show-jumping competition. The event was filled with well-bred, expensive thoroughbreds, horses bred for generations to jump, trained by elite riders from the world of privilege and wealth. Snowman, in contrast, was an $80 auction reject with a past in the fields. He looked out of place, standing among the sleek, muscular champions. People laughed. Then he jumped. With breathtaking grace, Snowman cleared fence after fence, his massive frame sailing through the air with the ease of a born champion. He wasn't just good, he was spectacular. The crowd watched in stunned silence, then erupted in cheers. Snowman kept winning. Again and again, he defied expectations, shocking everyone who had dismissed him. He wasn't supposed to be here. He wasn't supposed to beat these elite horses. But Snowman didn't care about pedigree. He only cared about clearing the next fence. By the end of 1958, the $80 plow horse had become the United States Open Jumper Champion. He won the American Horse Shows Association Horse of the Year. He won the Professional Horsemen's Association champion title, and he did it all with Harry, a working-class immigrant who had gambled on a horse no one wanted. Snowman became a legend. Fans adored him, and he loved them back. Unlike other competitive horses who were often temperamental and high-strung, Snowman was calm, friendly, and affectionate. He didn't just perform, he connected with people. Children would climb on his back between competitions, and he would let them. He never turned down a pat or a treat. He was a champion with a heart as big as his talent. But his greatest moment came in Madison Square Garden. It was the height of the show-jumping world, the place where only the best of the best competed. And there, standing in the ring, was Snowman, the horse that had once been worth nothing. He soared. The crowd roared as Snowman cleared the final jump, securing his place as one of the greatest show jumpers of all time. He had come from nowhere, a nameless horse left to die, and now he was standing in the winner's circle. His fame spread far beyond the equestrian world. He was featured in Life magazine. He appeared on The Tonight Show. He was loved by the public in a way few horses ever had been, and through it all, Harry never let him go. Snowman retired as a champion and spent the rest of his years at home with Harry and his family, living a life of peace and love. He had been given a second chance, and in return, he had given the world a story of resilience, heart, and undeniable greatness. When he passed away in 1974, he left behind a legacy that could never be erased. He wasn't just a horse, he was proof that champions can come from anywhere. That greatness isn't always born, it's discovered. And that sometimes all it takes to change history is an $80 chance.